Hey, everybody. Welcome back again to a little Austin Sports Weekend with Austin, the man here himself. It's time to talk sports for this week. We got a lot of stuff going on. Before we get started, thanks again for SevereTV.com for setting us up here in their studios. Thanks again for Autographs Plus down here for sponsoring us. They got a couple stores, one in Sevierville, one in Pigeon Forge. Be sure and go by and check them out. But we're going to start, like we always do anymore, with the
news bulletin as
the news bulletin. All right, what you got on the news bulletin, Austin?
Seems like we start off with a memorial most weeks, and it's going to continue this week.
We've had a lot of superstars pass.
Well, maybe
in the
none
past few
quite
months.
as super.
No,
As
Willie
Mays.
Willie Mays. He was the oldest living member of the Hall of Fame at 93, and he passed away. He had a good.
Peacefully with his family in his bed.
He had a good long life, but man, everybody knows to say hey. I mean, everybody knows the catch.
basket catch.
The basket catch in the '54 World Series. The basket catch.
With the Giants.
It's maybe the most famous catch in the history of baseball. I mean, one of the most famous. Everybody knows that catch. So it's sad to see him go. He was great for baseball. Prayers for his family. Hope that
Will Willie Mays live on in Giants lore and in the lore of baseball itself?
he is. He's one of the all-time greats. Yeah.
Speaking of lore being enhanced, the Celtics enhanced their lore with another title.
Their 18th
In
championship.
franchise history.
Their 18th championship. That's
Most.
That's a lot. That's more than the Lakers now, right?
Yes, one more.
So the Lakers have 17.
And the Celtics have 18. They've one up them here.
You know, we could go ahead and bring some more news in there since we're talking about the Lakers.
Congrats to the Celtics and winning their 18th
Congrats
title.
Congrats to the Celtics. Tatum has stamped himself a superstar. He was a superstar before
His
this, but now
sidekick, Jaylen Brown
he's a
has-
superstar.
his
And Jaylen
sidekick,
Brown,
Jaylen Brown won Finals MVP.
which is fantastic. So they honestly they have a chance maybe to build a.
And their core is young.
That's what I'm saying. They have a chance to build a dynasty. I mean, these days you don't get a dynasty, but they got a good young core if they can hang together. Now, again, talking about the Lakers, the Lakers could win their 18th next year, couldn't they? Why?
They've got J.J. Redick.
I say that jokingly. I don't think the Lakers are going to win the NBA championship next year. But yeah, they did finally found someone that wouldn't tell them no.
And it was very predictable.
Yeah, they went and got J.J. Redick. I'm a J.J. Redick fan. I like J.J. Redick. I'm not sure how he's going to be at the coach because he's never coached before. He was a ESPN analyst, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was an ESPN analyst, and he had podcasts with LeBron on there on and off, so that probably should have been a sign.
Yeah, so they're buddies, they're friends, but
How would that turn to coaching?
I don't know.
With no coaching experience whatsoever.
Well, J.J. Redick might, J.J. Redick might be coachable. Since LeBron's probably going to be the coach again now.
What do you mean? He's been the GM for the past 4 years.
Yeah, a GM, head coach. Even though he claims he doesn't have anything to do with any of it, yeah, he's the GM. He's the head coach. And this is his fourth or fifth ex opponent that's turned around to be a head coach for him. I think it's odd that you can't find for a head coach to stick with a superstar and win. Anyway, I ain't gonna get into it too much. Anyways, what else you got going there NBA wise for us?
The Pistons just fired Monty Williams, and now they owe him $65 million over 4 years.
They fired him after 1 year. What was he, 14 and
68.
14? I mean, that's pretty bad. 14 and 68. That's pretty bad. But they still owe him $65 million of guaranteed money, not contract. I mean, they got to pay the man $65 million to sit on the couch and watch next year.
That's not good for an organization to look at.
Maybe this time try to take a little more time and try to make a better choice, maybe?
Yeah,
Maybe.
they a little trigger happy.
Maybe a little trigger happy. But what else you got to go down there with the NBA? We got a lot of NBA right now. What's going on?
Pascal Siakam and the Pacers signed a $189.5 max
Yeah,
extension.
I'm surprised he stayed with the Pacers. I thought he might go out and test the waters, but he must really like the team. He went in there, liked it, and he's decided to stay. And he's a good player, so it's crazy what the money is these days. What, 189?
0.5.
So Pascal's worth 190 million. It's crazy what kind of money runs around there now. What you got on there for us next? You want to go in?
Les Miles sues LSU for all their vacated wins that
I
he's
heard
got.
about that. Yeah, they vacated the wins, and Les Miles is suing them because he thinks that those wins off of his record might keep him out of the College Football Hall of Fame, which would cost him money because he wouldn't be a Hall of Fame coach. I can sort of see it. I mean, I can see that he might want, that it's odd that you're suing somebody over your vacated wins, but I mean, I can see it. I can see him, especially if he doesn't make the Hall of Fame.
The Baltimore Ravens reveal their Purple Rising alternate helmets. It's a purple helmet that's an alternate. And it's got to be a Raven helmet. It's a Raven logo on each side, the left and the right, with a Raven head peering over.
I like that. They've always had the black helmets, so I think it's nice to have
A purple
one. And honestly, I like the color purple on sports teams. I think it looks good. What else you got for us?
We've got Brandon Ayuk and the 49ers beefing over contracts. Well, it's gotten a little heated.
I've heard that he actually may be on the trading block now. How about that?
He's one of the leading receivers on that team.
He is one.
Would be a costly loss.
That would be a costly loss. It would give our guy out there a chance to
possibly get more catches, but it would hurt the Niners.
It would definitely hurt the Niners long term because Ayuk was a major part.
1,000-yard receiver.
Man, pay the man.
Why are you meddling around?
No,
with money?
wide receivers are a high commodity right now.
Especially now.
Running backs have went down. Wide receivers have went up. Especially who was it that signed that huge contract? Was it Jefferson?
Justin Jefferson signed a big old whopper.
And now other wide receivers are going, why not me? How about me? So yeah, that's going to happen. But Ayuk would be a definite damage to them.
We've got some historic ineptitude going on in our last bit.
I know who you're going to talk about.
The Chicago White Sox.
Ow.
They are.
What's the record right now?
20-56. That is the worst in baseball by a good margin.
20-56.
You're
barely winning 1 out of 3.
They're teetering on the precipice of historic ineptitude.
Oh.
Let me tell you something. Their win percentage of 263 in a 162 game season would give them a win-loss percentage of 42 and 120.
Woo, 42.
And that would be the second or third worst record in the history of baseball.
That is a bad year.
We're talking about the hundreds and hundreds of years of baseball, and that's the third worst.
Ew.
We're talking about this White Sox team. You might want to watch because you might not see a team as bad as this.
You might watch them it's sort of like a train wreck. You look at it just to see how
motion.
bad it is.
Slow motion.
Slow motion train wreck. A couple more things. I know I have heard that from the Cardinals minicamp that Marvin Harrison Jr. is living up to the hype.
I've heard about that.
We might have us an offensive rookie of the year in the making right here. We predicted that whoever got Harrison Jr. was going to be just fantastic. And also a little bit of a weird one. The Browns defensive end, what was his name? Lonnie Phelps
Was
waived today because he crashed into a restaurant.
That's not very.
I haven't heard the details of it yet, but it must have been bad to crash into a restaurant. So that's a little bit crazy there. Let's see what else we got going on here. Oh, the Yankees are Aaron Judge got hit in the hand this week. We thought we were thinking maybe a little broke bone or something in it, but it came back negative, and he only had to miss one game. He came back, and he's hit a home run in his first game back. But the Yankees pitching, they got back their ace this week, and he looked a little bit. Garrett Cole, he looked a little iffy. I mean, he didn't look bad, but he looked a little iffy. But their pitching, they've got some struggles right now. They got some injuries, and they're having some trouble. They picked up Tim Hill today, signed him to a one-year contract. He's a 34. The Chicago White Sox let him go, put him on the waiver list last week, and the Yankees picked him up for a one-year deal. So the Yankees need to get some healthy going. Jumping on our Tennessee list, we'll talk a little baseball, of course, right off the top, because the Tennessee baseball team, the Tennessee Volunteer Baseball Team, are going to the World Series championship games to play Texas A&M. And again, last week we said that Tony Vitello is the best coach at Tennessee. And I still believe that wholeheartedly. Here are his 4 years that he has been at Tennessee. His last 4 years. 2021, we were 50 wins, 18 losses. We went to Omaha to play in the World Series. 2022, we were 57-9, probably our most talented team, but we lost in the Supers. We made it to the Sweet 16. In 2021, we made it to the Elite Eight. 2022, we made it to the Sweet 16. 2023, 44-22, and we made it to the Elite Eight and had a win there. And now this year, we are 58-12. We are 3-0. And are in the national championship game, so we're down to the last two. So throughout his last 4 years, we are 209-61 with 4 SEC championships, and they have hit 563 home runs.
Man, that is a lot. That's a lot of information.
Yeah, mark this right here. Tony Vitello, within a couple weeks, is going to be the highest paid college baseball coach in the country. You've got to keep that. He is, honestly, he is the best coach that Tennessee. As good as Tennessee's looking in other sports, he has done more with least. When he came in, we were terrible in baseball, really. I mean, we were just not doing good at all. So props to Tony Vitello. He is fantastic. And now we're only 2 wins. We're 2 wins away from being the first SEC team ever with 60 wins in a season. If we win the title, we will have 60 wins.
That's pretty nuts.
Yeah. The pitcher that just clinched for us, Xander, his last 5 starts we clinched the SEC regular season title, the game that sent us to the SEC tournament final, the game that won us the regional title, the game that won us the super regional title, and the game that sent us to the World Series final. So Sechrest, Xander, came in and looking good. So Sechrest came up and he's looking great. And just one more little thing here. Florida State was a fantastic team. I was honestly scared to death with Tennessee coming back and playing Florida State. After that first game we won 12-11, I was terrified to come back and play them again. But there's 2 people, there's tons of people stood out. The 2 catches where they ate the wall, fantastic. That was just a fantastic baseball. But standing up front, Christian Moore and Blake Burke. Christian Moore went 7-10 against Florida State in the 2 games. 7-10, 6 runs, 2 RBIs, 1 walk, 2 doubles, 2 triples, and a home run. Not too bad in 2 games. Blake Burke went 6 of 10, 4 runs, 5 RBIs, a walk, and a home run. Combined, the number 1 and number 2 hole went 13 of 20 with 10 runs scored, 7 RBIs, 2 walks, 2 doubles, 2 triples, and 2 home runs.
Very
Not
solid.
too bad. Not too bad. And our pitching has been just fantastic, too. So Tennessee, I think, is actually the favorite to win the first game against Florida State, but we'll just have to wait and see there. We hope that they can do it for us. Other than that, I think we're done. I don't think we got anything else going on.
Yeah, not much else at all going on.
No. Thanks again for Severe TV for setting us up here. Thanks again for Autographs Plus for sponsoring us. And we'll be out here, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.